Peace. Good morning. How you doing? It's Mr. R2 here at Consistency is Currency. And this morning I want to start with something just a little bit different. Different than what we've done in the past, different than what we've ever done. So good morning to you. Good morning to everyone that is viewing. Good morning to everyone that is in the Facebook space, and everyone that is in the YouTube space, and everyone that is in the podcast world. You know, all those distribution units out there, whether you're listening to it on Spotify, you're listening to it on iHeartRadio, you're listening to it on Google, you're listening to it on Facebook, the podcast. So I'm gonna give a shout out real quick for those countries that are listening, and then we're gonna start in a little bit of a different fashion. So for everybody that's in Italy, I appreciate you and thank you. India, thank you. Nigeria, thank you. Germany, thank you. Canada, Indonesia, Singapore, South Korea, United Nations, Puerto Rico, South Africa, Russia, Australia, Kenya, Morocco, Mexico, New Zealand, Ireland, Turkey, Netherlands, Pakistan, Algeria, Slovenia, Namibia, and Dominican Republic. I say thank you and I appreciate you. So we're going to start a little bit different. Can I change it up just a little bit? I'm going to switch it up just a little bit. Can I turn the lights out just a little bit? Just a little bit. We're gonna talk our way into this one. Just a little bit. Today we're going to enter just into that space that is going to allow us to begin to see and understand the who that we are as individuals, the who that we are as people, the who that we are as a culture, the who that we are as individuals. We're going to walk in potentiality. We're going to walk in our greatness. We're going to walk in into our purpose, and we're going to walk into who we are about to become. And when you get to that point, you're going to have to begin to discover your mandate. And this came from yesterday's conversation about shapeshifters. That's where this came from. And when I began to study it and to develop it and to design it, it just began to unfold a lot of things, even within me, things that I do and don't do, things that I've done, the things that I know that I can and should do. This is where this came from. So let's go. Let's get it. So I just want to start it out just a little bit different, un poquito, just a little bit different. All right, so let's talk about discovering your mandate. I know for me, the discovering of the mandate. Let me see who's here. Good morning, Miss Selena. Good morning, whoever the other person is. Discover your mandate. So what is a mandate? It says a mandate is an official order or commission to do something. And the contrast, real quick, go ahead and share this live and put it in a Facebook group, or share the live and put it on your news feed. Now, again, the definition of mandate is an official order or commission to do something. And the contrast here is white over red, which is an official order. What order are you giving yourself? What order are you demanding of yourself? And what order are you walking in? Remember, we're discovering our mandate. And the second definition of mandate is to make mandatory as of by law, decree, or requirement. And the contrast of this is red over white. Again, to make mandatory as by decree or requirement. What are you making mandatory in your life? What decrees are you demanding for yourself, or what decrees or requirements are you creating for yourself? Say mandate. Put that in the comment sections. Mandate. What do you have that's mandatory for you? Do you demand, or do you make excellence mandatory? Because if you don't make excellence mandatory, or you do not make professionalism mandatory, then it will never be a decree in your life. That's why you have a lot of people that say people don't do this because they don't make it mandatory. They don't make it a requirement. I can talk about Black businesses. Why? Because I am one, or I dwell in that arena. So when you have a lot of people that say, "Oh, Black businesses, we don't, they're just rude and blah blah blah." No, it's the people. It's the person that person is dealing with. If they dwelled in the decree, or the owner made a decree that customer service will be upfront and to be demanded in the space, then people will communicate different. But you have to have a mandatory way of doing things within your business, as well as having and demanding a decree within your home. Because if there was a decree within your home, then your children will have the ability to execute different, because there is a requirement. Do you have a requirement in your home? Do you have a decree in your home? There should be something that is mandatory within the fabric of your home, or something that is mandatory within your life that you live. If you eat a certain way, or eat during a certain time, there should be a decree that you have within how you operate and how you execute. Again, we're just talking about discovering your mandate. Have you discovered what your mandate is? Have you discovered how you operate? Have you discovered the things that you will have as a firm foundation of what is mandatory in your life? And the last and the third definition is a command from a superior court. That's what it says. Mandate is a command from a superior court. A command. That's the contrast here. Red over white is a command. A command from a superior court. So, what's the superior court? The highest form, or the highest superior court, is you. You. So what do you say to you? Because if you don't court yourself, then you would never know what it's like to actually be governed in a proper way, or you would allow anything to happen to you, or allow anything to happen in your space. Because what I've been learning about discovering my mandate is oftentimes that I begin to do so much for a lot of other people that I forget that I need to court me. I don't have to date me, but court me to make me feel like I am important. I am important, because we have begun to forget about how to court ourselves to ensure that we maintain and remain important to us. by doing even the basic things of 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 life, learning how to be happy for you, learning how to be happy in the things that you have accomplished, making that mandatory to celebrate your victories. What if you made it mandatory for the things that happen good in your life? So, you know what? We're going to go out to eat. We're going to go, I'm going to take myself to lunch, or I'm going to go celebrate this. That means you are making it mandatory to be happy for you instead of allowing or waiting for somebody else to show you happiness. That is within your courtship. That is within you discovering your mandate, because I am making it a requirement for me to be happy for me. Not for me to be happy because of somebody else, but for me to be happy for me. Making that decree of operating in excellence, making that decree on operating in the spirit and in the nature of who that I am, and not waiting or being validated off of somebody else. It's far too often that we we're always formalizing things. We're just giving shape to it. And yesterday when we spoke about shapeshifters, that means that we understood the where we were, but we have to understand the where we're going. And in order for you to understand where you're going, you have to understand where you are right now in the present. What have I done that I need to fix? What am I doing that I need to do different? And when you discover that thing and you discover the mandates that you're placing on yourself, you're discovering the non-negotiables that you have within yourself, then you know where you want to go, because you know where you are. You know what systems you have in place. You know the divine order that you have within your home. You know the divine order that you have within your thoughts, because you will be able to shift from formalization to actualization. How do you actually manifest those things, and how do you bring those things into existence? Because I have to understand that I am going to formalize it, and then I'm going to actualize it. Are you still formalizing? There's people that that I know that will say, well, I don't know what my purpose is, or I don't know what my gift is. You probably spend so much time running away from it than you have ever thought about running towards it. Have you thought about that? You run from your purpose for so long that you forgot what it looked like. You ran from it for such a distance that it's hard for you to come back to it. But you have to discover your mandate. What are your requirements? What do you need? Like we spoke about yesterday, what do you need? Don't ask yourself those disempowerment questions, but ask yourself the questions of empowerment. What do you need right now that is going to create a level of success for you that will live for a lifetime? What is it? Are you going to say it's money? Are you going to say it's I want to be married? Or are you going to say I want to have children? Or are you going to say I want to, whatever it is? That's for you to decide. That's for you to discover. But then you have to ask yourself, when you get that, is that really going to make you happy? Or are you just formalizing what happiness is to you? Because that's when you go into that self-actualization. I'm seeing it for what it is. I'm seeing the reality of it. I have manifested, and I recognize what happy looks like, or I recognize what success looks like, because I see it, I can taste it, I can touch it, I can taste it. It is as real as possible to me. It exists. It has been manifested. But discovering your mandate is going to open your eyes to so many different things. Like, as I begin to even touch on this, I begin to see that there were some things that I didn't make mandatory in my personal self. Again, I'm just speaking to me, just in an outward approach. There were some things that I didn't make it. I didn't make a mandate of it. I didn't make it mandatory because I've made a lot of other people mandatory before me. And how many of you have done that? You've made everybody else mandatory. You've made other people's feelings mandatory. You've made yourself available to other people's mandate that you forgot about yourself in the process. Is there something wrong with that? Not all the time. But sometime it is. That's when you begin to lose yourself so much that you forgot the who that you are. But when you discover your mandatory, I promise that you can begin to discover that you are in demand. But you need to be the one who demands it, command it. So I pray that you command your mandatory way of doing things, or your mandate, but you got it. Hold on to it. Be consistent with it and be persistent in doing it. And I guarantee you that we as a people, you and I, we can make it happen after we have discovered our mandate. Y'all be blessed. Peace.